Quilter's newsletter, Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques, is brought to you by Bernina, Made to Create, and Benartex, Fabric for Quilters by Quilters.
Hi, I'm Connie Fanders, and this is Quilter's newsletter, Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques with Bernina. And you're a quilter, and you've decided it's time for a new machine. So you're out looking at machines, and you see some machines that say Quilter's Edition. Well, what does it mean to be a Quilter's Edition? What comes with that machine that is different than the standard sewing machines? So those are the things that I'm going to cover today in our quilting tips and techniques. The first thing that you will find when you are shopping for your machine and the Quilter's Editions is that the Quilter's Editions are generally equipped with the accessories needed for quilting. For example, your machine that you're looking at may have a straight stitch needle plate, because a straight stitch needle plate is one that has a single opening for the needle to go into, which stabilizes the needle while you're either piecing or machine quilting. Also, it may come with some free motion quilting tools such as the Bernina stitch regulator. This is the tool or the foot that we use when we are free motion quilting to keep our stitches very even and consistent. And generally it will also come with a patchwork foot or a 1/4 inch foot. So from the needle to the side of the foot is exactly a 1/4 of an inch, so you can ensure that you have perfect 1/4 inch seams. Another feature on some machines is the dual feed. Bernina's dual feed is built into the machine, and it is in the back of the machine. And to engage the dual feed, you simply pull the lever down, and it actually gives you another feed dog behind the presser foot. So what this will do is when you are doing machine quilting with layers of fabric, it keeps those layers of fabric moving evenly. So when you sew an intersecting line, such as this, it'll be perfectly flat and it will not get a tuck in your fabric because all of the layers were being moved through at the same pace. So this is another great feature that you will find on many Quilter's Edition machines. Other accessories that come with the Quilter's Edition sometimes are the embroidery module. And if you have an embroidery module with your Quilter's Edition, then you can make quilt labels, you can do monogramming on baby quilts, and there are even patterns to do blocks for your quilt right in the embroidery hoop. But let's now take a look at our screen and look at some of the features and the stitches that are built into a Quilter's Edition machine. On a Quilter's Edition machine, typically there are built-in stitches designed just for quilters. On our Bernina 750 machine, we do have a menu of stitches right here that does have all of the quilting stitches any quilter would like, all built into one area. So we have our straight stitching, we have some stippling stitches built in, we have a hand look quilt stitch, so it actually looks like your piece has been has been hand quilted rather than machine quilted. This is where we're going to find our blanket stitch, our feather stitch, and then there are more stitches built in to replicate crazy quilt stitches. So let me just show you one of the stitches that is built in Edition machine. There's a variety of uses for all these different decorative quilting stitches that you can use on any of your quilting projects. So other things that you may find built into a Quilter's Edition are some screens or some help menus. On the Bernina 750, we have a creative consultant and a tutorial menu. This is our tutorial menu, and you can see here we have built-in tutorials just for quilters. So we can select this, and here is where we can find some on-screen help as to how to do piecing, strip piecing, crazy patchwork, foundation piecing, and more. So let's say, for instance, I want to do foundation piecing. Here it gives me all the instructions of how I would need to do that technique and how I would need to set up my machine. So as a quilter, whether you're a new quilter or a seasoned quilter, the online or the built-in help is a perfect guide for you. Now, we also do have, as I said, the creative consultant. And this is where you can tell the machine what type of fabric that you're stitching on and the type of technique that you're doing, and it will set up the machine for you. So say, for instance, if we're quilting, we're going to be using a woven fabric. So I'm going to select a woven fabric, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to do free motion quilting. So I select the free motion quilting, and what it does is it tells me the suggested needle. I can even select here, and it tells me they're suggesting to use a quilting needle. It suggests the type of cotton thread to use. Here it's suggesting a 60 weight 2-ply, and the foot that is recommended for this as well. It will tell me what number of stitch to use as well. So when I hit the check mark, it automatically takes me to that straight stitch, and I'm ready to sew my stippling. So as a quilter, the other creative consultant menus you may be interested in are the other woven fabrics, and the different types of pictures here signify how closely woven the fabric is that you are working on. If you're doing garment sewing, then we have knits, we have fur, and all types of different fabrics that you can get recommendations on how to set up the machine. So I've highlighted just a few things that you will find on the special Quilters edition to help you decide if you need to purchase a Quilters edition or the standard sewing machine. The choice is yours. So join us again for another edition of Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques with Bernina.
Quilter's newsletter Machine Quilting Tips and Techniques is brought to you by Bernina, Made to Create, and Benartex, Fabric for Quilters by Quilters.